No coin. So we've got CountVonCount and Pegasus.
Hello.
And we've already talked to Count
All right.
Pegasus. You want to say what's up?
Hello, guys. I'm very excited.
All right.
Wonderful. And Pegasus, because you are seated higher, I'm going to give you the option to make the call for the flip. So whenever you're ready, make the call and we'll have the flip.
I mean, head or tails?
Yes, heads or tails.
Yeah, tails.
All right, we flipped, and it is tails.
Great.
So Pegasus, you get to pick either you're going to have the map pick for the first match, or you can pick your order in the snake draft. What are you taking?
I'll get the map.
Okay, so back to you, Count. Do you want to go first in the snake or second?
I'll go first.
Okay, who are we taking?
Can I pick now my first gods?
Yes.
Gonna be Isis.
Wow, I did not see that one
Wow.
coming. I'm not going to provide any context, though. Pegasus, you get 2.
Let's see. Give me Poseidon and give me Zeus.
Hey, versus Egyptian going on. Count, you get 2 back on your side.
Yes, it's going to be Thor and it's going to be Loki.
There we go.
Oof.
I was wondering when I get
Alright.
some representation in here. Pegasus?
Let's see. We're picking all 5.
Yeah, you get up to 5 for the best of 3.
Let's see. Give me Freyr. And give me. I get another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'll go for Odin.
Hey, Count, your final 2 picks.
It's going to be Ra and it's going to be Set.
All right, there we go. And Pegasus, your last pick?
Hades.
Okay, Hades. So we've got the picks for the game, and now the last thing for the draft, Pegasus, you get to pick the first map that we play on, and from there, the loser of the previous match gets to pick the next map until the best of 3 meet, and the gods will be selected after each map is picked. So you know which map it's going to be on, and then both of you can private message Jay the god you're going to pick, and we'll get that lobby set up. What are we taking, Pegasus?
Let me think.
While you're
Take
thinking,
your
I just
time.
want to point
Take your
out
time.
there are no Atlanteans
I
picked in
know,
this
I
first.
was thinking that too.
It's quite
gotta
interesting to
We
see.
gotta think after we see the gods, no?
Can I ask a question,
Let's
guys?
go.
Yeah.
Is it going?
Yeah.
Is it going to be a mob ban right now, or first we pick?
No
the
map ban. You're just
no
picking
ban.
the first map, Pegasus, the one that you'd like to play.
Let's go.
Oh wait,
for...
no. Count is right. We did have a map ban. We missed it.
Oh,
Completely.
shoot.
We did miss that. We missed the map ban. This is part of the first time around, guys.
Oh, yeah, yes. Sorry,
So
that
we
is
do
true.
want to do the map ban blind, and it is after
Yes.
they pick the gods. So this is still the right order. So if both of you
Yes,
want to
so-
message Jay map ban, because you can ban the same map. So you guys just Jay a DM which maps you want to.
Correct. Sorry about that.
No
Let me
problem.
Okay.
Jay, I'll send you a private message.
Yep, you just send me a private message. It'll be blind, and then if you guys ban the same map, that's totally fine as well. That's no problem.
Perfect.
Apologies for the person in the chat who is upset that I don't have these symmetrical. Doing better now. How's this? Interesting choices too. Very, very interesting. We have no Atlanteans in the first match. I expect some Moranos and some Gaia during this tournament.
Alrighty, so we have our map bans in. The first map ban is going to be Ghost Lake. That is out of the pool for this. The second ban is going to be Watering Hole. So both
Okay.
of those maps will not be played in this series.
Okay. And I believe Watering Hole. Is that right?
Yes, that is.
Yeah, I believe that is it. Make sure we got the small icons, no names. Okay. So at this point, Pegasus, now you get to pick where we starting.
Let's go for Kerlauger.
All right, Galauger, first map. Okay, so at this point, this is the draft. I'll leave it up for just a minute here, and then we're going to work on getting the lobby hosted, and we can get inside of the spectating for the first match.
Definitely.
Who's hosting?
So,
So
Jay, if you want to hop over with do
Yes,
inside
I'll
of a
hop
different
over.
chat, so we do need one of you to host the lobby so that I can host it because we're the spectators. So we'll get that set up. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this draft because I think this is very interesting. So we did see first pick from Count Isis, and that is a god that I honestly expected there to be lower priority on during this tournament because we have seen Isis nerfs come through. There's certain things like Ancestors Eclipse that is still quite powerful, but I feel like quite predictable when people can see coming. So I am surprised to see the Isis first pick. So we'll see if that's played inside of this best of three. That's strong. Again, no Atlanteans drafted, so I could tell Jay is very happy about that. And I do see also in the chat the audio. We have been testing with this, and I've been telling Jay if he points his mouth away from the mic, it does break out a bit. So we'll try and keep focusing on that and make sure he doesn't get cut out too much. It'll be a bit easier for him once we're in one screen to look at. But right now, he's also handling all the back end pieces that we're doing. So bear with him if we do get a little cut out, and let us know if it's getting worse. We can turn off the. We've got a noise gate that it cuts out if talking. There's no background noise, but we can just turn that off. Have a little bit of background noise. Cutting out too much. Just keep us informed in the chat. Exciting first draft. This was a late add to the tournament pool to Kierkegaard, so I'm excited to see that map. One of the things that I'm going to be wanting to ask the players is why everyone seems to love this map, but everyone seems to hate Highland. Very simple map, with just one river across the middle. So I'm interested to ask some players about that one, see what has to happen there. And outside of that, couple Norse picked for both teams. We've got a heavy Greek on the side of Pegasus. We will have some Pegasus rushing coming out today. I guess we'll have to see. And then pretty heavily Norse and Egyptian on the other side for CVC. I'm excited to get into this. So Jay is starting up the stream right now. How's everyone doing today? Excited for the first match? Mine cutting out as my mic is cutting out as well, Redrick, huh? If I can do anything about that. This. I'm gonna go on mute for a second. I'm gonna switch where I have it plugged in.
Alrighty, everyone. The lobby is now being set up. The god picks have been submitted.
Who do we have?
We have Pegasus playing on Poseidon and Count playing on Thor.
Nice. Okay, so the first matchups. Poseidon versus Thor, both pretty early picks in the draft. I wonder if there's going to be any surprises there. And lobby is being set up. Is that correct, Jay?
Yes, lobby is being set up. I just need a few moments to get them together, and we will be ready to go.
Okay, sounds good. Get your cam back up here.
That's me, actually. I have it disabled just for a second.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So I'm going to go look for the lobby.
Yes, he joined in before he was able to give us the game. So.
And then make sure we message. We also should shout this out. We do have another broadcaster who's going to be streaming the quarterfinals in a French stream. So, Jay, if we can get the link to that stream as well, if anyone's interested in watching French broadcast, this stream, we do have that set up. And if anyone else is streams broadcasting in different languages, we want to make this accessible. One of my favorite parts about AOM and RTS in general is the fact that it is a game, and we actually have 8 different countries represented inside of this match. So Jay, while we're getting that lobby set up, if you want to DM me the lobby name.
Oh, yes, that's just DM me the lobby name. Yep, that's the game name.
Okay, so they're loaded in.
Actually, we're rehosting. They didn't allow Expector, so.
Okay.
And this is the first iteration, so we're getting it together right now.
Well, that's perfect. While you're figuring that out, Jay, I'm going to talk about the matchup. So starting in this match, we do have Pegasus Rush, legendary player, and what we've pulled for each players, some of their recent trophy cabinet wins, depends on the player how far back we went, and then their most played gods as of a couple days ago when we created these graphics. So Pegasus Rush, I think it fitted pretty perfectly with his draft, right? Top played gods, Poseidon, Zeus, Hades. He drafted all 3, so I guess we maybe guessed that one correctly. And then I'm excited to see how he matches up inside of here. Very Greek heavy. For those who don't know, Pegasus Rush getting the name from actually rushing his opponent's docks with Pegasus scouts in order to disrupt his opponents. So excited about that one. And on the other side, we have CVC, CountVonCount, top gods Odin, Thor, Isis. And again, I think we nailed these graphics because we guessed these gods that they were going to be picking correctly. So I'm excited for this. Count, another tournament hoster, which is very exciting, hosting the Count's Castle Cup. Played inside of that just earlier, inside of the year, which is a really exciting tournament if everyone wants to check that out. But these are the players, and we do have the lobby hosted now, so I'll jump back to the main broadcast and let me pull it up.
Definitely. We just got the lobby, so we will be joining in very soon. I'm super excited. And just to say, shout out to Pegasus being a core Greek player in a meta where the Greeks haven't had as much love on the top side of the bracket. So I am excited to see some top level Greek play against the Norse.
Okay, and Jay, we are into the game. Let me switch to spectate. Spawning in at the south side of the map, we have Aces, the CountVonCount, playing as Thor.
On the northeast side of the map, we have Keen Pegasus playing as Poseidon. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a really fun one.
And I gotta say, Jay, this feels very similar to a moment during my wedding where we finished the first dance, where I feel like we finished the hard stuff, and now we're into the game. So now we can do the stuff that we do well, casted the games, and seeing what these players are going to be doing. I'm excited for it.
Definitely, and I know everybody is just excited. We've been wanting top tier players going against each other in a tournament space. We have that now. Both players are prepped, they are ready to go, and we see the first part of the game going on. Laura's cast in the backside of the base.
Ooh, the early Dwarven Mine, yeah. That's a bit different from what we've been seeing. Honestly, the early Dwarven Mine usually dwarfs just go straight out to the gold mine, but maybe looking for a bit quicker of an age up. We've got the Berserk pulling in the elk, or the caribou. So pretty standard stuff on the Thor side. We do see that Pegasus has found the base here, but we actually got some some gatherers going out there.
Chasing
Trying
down,
to chase down that scout. I like it there. Just getting a little bit of aggression early on. And very interestingly, no early Dwarven Mine. I'm a bit surprised by this. I thought we were gonna have this come out very early, but maybe since we have a water map, I think that makes sense. We don't have enough wood to apply both fishing and the Dwarven Mines. We're going straight for the fish.
Yeah, I mean, if you have water on a map, it's very typical to see players go ahead and pivot. It acts as if it's a second town center, able to boost your food economy early on. So it isn't too surprising to see the dock, but not to have the Dwarven Mine is a little bit of a change up compared to what we see normally on any map, for that matter, for the Norse. On the other side, we do have Pegasus working on his temple. Pretty standard and early on. That is up, so we're expecting an age up pretty quickly. If I had to guess, I am going to say the Centaurs are going to be showing up this map.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, not even so much for the Centaur, right? It's for the unique tech that you can get through that age up. And since we do have a bit slower of an opening with standard build orders and docks, just one dock coming out, actually. We don't see Poseidon, we don't see Pegasus going for docks, but let's check out the relics. Siege weapons cheaper, not a great relic. Oh, Anvil of Festus, man. If Count finds this early, that could be quite powerful for him. We've got the small trickle of gold, another decent relic, and then all the way on the right side of the map, Titan's Treasure. Really good relic, I think. This one is quite good if you're looking for additional age ups. That cost reduction can be very strong.
Definitely. There's some pretty impactful relics here in this map, so excited to see who grabs what. We do have our... Nope, no age up yet on either side.
Yeah, Theseus coming out. No, we do have the age up coming in. You were correct. We're going through Hermes in the Centaur. So we're going to get the cavalry bonuses there. We do see an early Theseus out. Let's see what Pegasus sees, because he's likely either found a relic or he's going hunting for it. Looks like he's just going hunting for it. Great scouting path. Also, look at this. Just checking out the entirety of both rivers with that scout. Centaur coming out on the map already. And we just now see Freya coming up for CountVonCount here. So we may get a bit of damage. Villagers are going to be at risk from that Centaur coming through.
Definitely, and also Pegasus was able to scout out that early dock, so he might decide to apply some pressure early on, be able to knock out that fishing economy that he's trying to establish. He is going for a second dock on the lower part of the map, be able to prepare possibly if that is engaged on, or just to try to boom. But an interesting take from Count's perspective here. That's not something I would have expected.
And here comes the Centaur. Is he being able to get one? It's going to be close. Misses that arrow. One more shot. The villager does live, so Centaur just a little bit of missed aim there, trying to get that kill on the villager. We do have Theseus out already on the dock, though, just hacking away at these fishing ships. Oh, man. Gonna go. Those are gonna go down. So I like the early hero Herser coming out to respond to the Centaur, but he's doing pretty good, decent damage here to the base.
Yeah, creating a little bit of idle time and causing his villagers to move around to safety. That Centaur is getting immense value early on. The Valkyrie does come out now to be able to help respond and should be able to chase down the Centaur or provide some more backup towards that northern dock to make sure that more fishing ships do not fall. Theseus does look to respond.
And we have everyone's favorite hero, Atlanta, coming out, the fastest woman in the world. Going to be chasing down that Valkyrie at some point. I know it's going to happen, but this pressure on the fishing ship's pretty solid. We do see the longboat coming out to try and defend this. And I do think longboat are quite strong into units, so, you know, stalling the fishing production a little bit, but I don't think he's actually going to take out any of these. And we do see 2 docks now for CountVonCount, and we do see the first dock coming up over here for Pegasus. So looking to get on the water a bit, and these Herser are just going to chase away the Cav and chase away Theseus.
Yeah, Pegasus sees that, hey, it's not just 1, but it's 2 docks. He's going to be able to boom pretty effectively with that. I need to make a response to be able to make sure I scale efficiently just as well. So that dock does come up on Pegasus' side. It's a good response from him. And these units are just going to go ahead and push out the early aggression from this, Theseus, and just push him back towards his base.
And here we go. It didn't take long, but here's Atlanta chasing down the Valkyrie for the rest of the game.
You know, I have to say I was a little disappointed to see Microsoft and game publishers nerf Atlanta. I love her. She should not have had that. Oh, and their forest fire comes down. It's causing more idle time to the villagers. No villagers do fall, but destroys the wood line that he was accessing on that side of the map. So that does get done.
Yeah, and skirmishing really all over the place. We've got harassment coming in the back here, being handled pretty easily, but Centaur still looking around. Fights inside of the river. This is an action-packed map early on. I'm really liking it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a twist and pull from both players. One answer to one for each. Oh,
caught it just in time. That could have been bad. But yeah, looking good.
Bad if you had Archer.
And I gotta say, people are gonna. This is a controversial point, it seems like, but I think we've got a competition here for 2 of the worst classical age god powers in the matchup between Ceasefire and Forest Fire. People still seem to value Ceasefire very highly, but I don't think it's that good of a god power in this new game.
Yeah, we've seen Ceasefire actually lead to a lot of catastrophic ends, whether Norse players are able to build hill forts directly on the battlefield on top of the opponent's base, whether you're able to dive an army deeper into like the economic portion of a player's base. Ceasefire can be a double-edged blade and cause just as much pain as it causes value, so it's one that I don't rate very highly. Forest Fire, on the other hand, actually has been seeing more use due to the Valkyrie, but also being able to be effectively help take out villagers early on with their initial raid with the first Valkyrie. So both of them are on the weaker side, but they do get quite a bit of love from the community.
Yeah, they can have some impact, and I think people are going Freya definitely for the Valkyrie more than Fire. But Forest Fire, it's got its use. Herser just going to keep raiding on these Hippias here. They're going to be able to get out of that just fine. And Valkyrie.
Yeah, the wall's partially finished as these Hippias seem to be a little bit trapped as the Valkyrie comes in to close down that portion, push them back into the base towards the initial mass, and boom, there we go. The Hippias does fall.
Yep. And one of the things we saw in a couple of our cast games with Ceasefire in particular is you do need to be really careful when and where you cast that, because if you have a Norse army inside of your base, what we see a lot is just them dropping hill forts while Ceasefire is going. You know, just drop a hill fort, Ceasefire ends, then you got that extra building to help with the fight. So that's why I'm hesitant to take Ceasefire. But of course, if you're playing cavalry, you kind of have to go for Hermes. That's the best option you have.
Yeah, and raiding cavalry starting to come out on Count's side to help be able to create some pressure on the opposite side of the map, just as Pegasus has been doing with his cav. No mass yet in the backside just yet, but let's see if he's able to effectively go for any of these villagers in the backside of the base.
More raiding on this dock. Fishing ship's going to be fine. They're going to garrison, but we're stalling the production. And I do wonder, it looks like we're going to be seeing age-ups from both of these players just based on the amount of gold them are stacking up. And actually, we're there right now for Grass, or for Pegasus, sorry, if he wants to take it. And he does, going to go through Aphrodite, your favorite by far, Jay.
The Magnian line is one of the best units on the Greek side. I do anticipate him being able to put a few together to micro these stuns of their special attack throughout engagements. Oh man, the fishing boats are being pushed all the way up to the north and destroyed. Juggernaut is a very good unit on the sea, is able to take out those ships really quickly.
Yeah, and just I feel like I'm missing a lot of action here because with all the heavy cavalry that we have focused on here, there's constant raids going on. We got more raids going on in the north with the raiding cav, just fighting out with the Atlanta and the Hippias. They're gonna go down, it looks like, unless Count picks up on these units and gets them to run away. But yeah, it looks like that raiding cav goes down there. A bit more of a skirmish here. We do have the longboat out now fighting off these units, and more raiding cav and the Valkyrie coming in. Looks like we're gonna have a bit more of a skirmish. Will any fishing ships go down? I don't think so.
Yeah, and the units are staying to the base. Now they're moving back in towards. The engagement is going on, and the Valkyrie pushes in with the calf to draw off the Greek cavalry, pushing them down the lane. We do have quite a few ships that are pretty low, as well as the longboat, so I'm curious to see if they are able to be more effective on defending that southern sea portion, or river portion, I should say. And more cavalry collapse, and oh man, okay, we're going to be wiping out Pegasus' last cavalry there. Very effective use of macro to be able to position your raiding cavalry in, chasing him back into your main mass.
Yeah, but big time here. With that age up, not only do we get the Nemean line, we also get the Scylla, who's about to just wreak havoc on this other base. I wonder if we see Count look for an age up. It looks like he's spent all his money. He's just going full raiding cav at this point, fully committing to that. But the downside here now is that we do have access to the Padromos over for Pegasus. So if he starts putting out a lot of Padromos, I wonder if we see any of those in the queue at this point. He's going to counter this army easily, but we do get another raid up in the north.
Cavalry are going directly onto that unprotected gold mine, and unfortunately Count did not have any sort of vision for that army to be able to go back into. No fortresses, no towers, nothing to protect these villages.
First cast.
And these dwarves are going to be positioned out. First cast down. Oh man, and then there's another group of cavalry going into the backside to protect. First is down. Whoa, that's almost 5 villagers being captured by that cast right there.
Yeah, the cavalry army is just too big, and where are the raiding cav from Count right now? Is this all he had? I thought he had a lot more raiding cav than that to take on this fight.
Yeah, a few of them might have gotten caught out in a different position.
Yeah,
they are in the back of the base.
I knew they're out there somewhere. So it really is just a cavalry matchup here with just a couple of Herser mixed in. I think the Herser should be able to deal with this Scylla pretty easily, I would think, but water agent units are quite strong in this mode. The Scylla does go down with its 3 heads, and it looks like Count's going to have to retreat from this position.
Yes, Count's cavalry is in the back of the base. Pegasus is trying to create as much idle time as he can in taking out villagers. Unfortunately, only has a few Herser left in his base to protect him from the main mass that Pegasus has been him with on the northern side. Now with the last fight that just happened, he is effectively out of all of his fishing economy on that northern river, relying only on that southern portion. His units are pushing in. A Valkyrie pops up to be able to try to push them back out of the base, as in the north.
Yeah,
what happened to
Count's skirmishes all over. Skirmishes all over. Yeah, we don't see any second TCs coming out yet. Valkyrie getting chased down. I feel like you don't need second TCs on water maps like this. You get enough of that bonus economy from just fishing ships, but most of the fishing ships just getting taken out quite quickly, honestly. I see why players like this map. There's a lot going on in this map.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a fun cast to start off the show today, actually. It's been quite enjoyable. The dock does go ahead and fall down. The longboat will try to take out any horses that are low in this engage. The back end, we did have some cavalry pull through towards a hunt in the northernmost part of the map. Looks like they were not able to take out the villagers during that engagement on the river. And in the center of the map, we see quite a bit of cavalry forming in on Pegasus' side as they're looking to push down the center towards that villager mass, or the dwarf mass, and oh, it looks like they're gonna get caught out. Oh
this
no!
Could be disastrous. This might be it for Count. Honestly, if a lot of these dwarfs go down, that villager count is starting to grow for Pegasus. He's already got a lead of almost 10, and even more are going to be going down here. And here's the Padromos, and this is countering everything that Count has out in his army right now. The Valkyrie, the raiding cav, they can't handle these Padromos. Mercer trying to get a longhouse out, definitely looking for some herdmen to help counter this army back, but it doesn't go up, and I don't see any other longhouses built right now, so that's going to be a big challenge if you can't get herdmen out.
Definitely, that was a very effective push on Pegasus' part to be able to take out quite a few dwarves and also isolate his economy, because that production side that he has is now cut by nearly half on gold production. We do see him being only floating about 12 gold right now, so being able to mass more units might be a little bit more of a challenge right now for Count.
Yeah, we just don't see a lot of favor, you know. Oh, and there's the game. Not too surprised, I think once those dwarfs went down by the gold mine, it's just too difficult to come back at this point of the game. Even with the raids on the other side, a couple of villagers recently went down. We could see the Count went down a bit there from Count's raids himself, but yeah, it was looking like Pegasus had a dominant position inside of this game.
Yeah, Pegasus makes his statement on his signature god, Poseidon, and he shows why he's so effective. We talked about it in the precast. Having that Greek cavalry early on, being able to attack with those centaurs, a lot of pressure towards the back line of your opponent's base, and really take change the pace of play for the game, and really let you control the map. And that's effectively what Pegasus did very well.
Yeah, and I agree. I'm seeing some people in the chat. Thor on a water map. I do think it's interesting. None of the Norse pantheon gets a particularly great bonus for water maps outside of maybe docks out early. But I think not having really access to the armory because you need to get to the docks. It is interesting to pick that, but maybe we'll see another pick and see how it works out for someone else. But if I just want to take a quick look at the civilian units, yeah, you can see this was big raid number 1 that caused a lot of damage and just kept his villager count quite low. So I think that was the right call. That game seemed over. Great game 1 to kick off the day.
Definitely great one to start. I'm really excited about what we're going to see as the next map count is going to pick. I'm going to head out and get the next lobby formed. As soon as I have the map pick as well as god picks, I will return to share that information. So Matt, I give you the stream while I get the players ready for the next match.
Streams in my hands. Great. Love that. Been awesome so far. I don't know if everyone knows this, but Jay and I were quite nervous coming into this one just because of all the prep that we realized we had to do for something like this. But I want to shout out the players that are participating because they have all been incredibly helpful with getting this set up. You know, Jay, you're on me. I don't know if you're talking to me or not, but you know, players like Grass constantly pulling in other players to compete in the tournament, sending us replays files. We've got a bit of a preview to a later matchup, Grass versus Ulysses, but those two in particular have sent us tons of replays to watch. We've casted a lot of their games. I know for Jay and I, both of those are a bit of a fan favorite, and that is a first quarterfinals matchup, so we'll see how that's going to go. But this is exciting. I'm interested to see what gods we have next. Let's go ahead and pull up the draft deck because we've got some updates to make here. First of all, we've already played Thor, and let me just go ahead and move back up into the pick, and that's a loss. And then Poseidon was a win, and I feel like I need a check mark here to show the win. So let's go ahead and insert this, get a shape inside of here, and we'll do a plus. That looks more like a cross than a plus, but that's a win for Poseidon. Game 1 down. Pegasus taking the victory, so we'll have to see who they pick next. And just a reminder with how the draft works, you cannot repeat gods with the best of 3. There is only one exception to repeat gods, and if finals go to 5, we will allow both players to pick any of the gods that they have drafted. So there can be picks for a game 5. Personally, I'm really hoping for it because if we get a game 5, everyone gets to pick their best champs, and then we'll really see who the best player is. And if we get a mirror matchup, even better. That, in my opinion.
So we now have our second map picked out
Okay.
for this matchup. Count has selected Midgard as the next map that we will be playing.
Hey, Midgard coming out.
Oh.
I got the right one here,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Now on Midgard, he is selected Isis
Okay.
for his god, and Pegasus will be playing Zeus. So the next matchup will be Isis versus Zeus.
I gotta say, I do love that we've got Pegasus being a full Greek main. He's playing nothing but the Greeks. I respect it. Maybe we'll see someone try and steal some Greek from him in the future drafts, but it's in the name, guys. We know this man is a Greek fanatic, so maybe we got to get that out. And so that's our picks for this next match. We've got Isis versus Zeus on Midgard, another water map. So interesting that we're getting, you know, first a hybrid map and now like a water map inside of this matchup. I'm excited to watch this. I know we honestly, Jay, we haven't watched a lot of water maps. There haven't been a lot of games because the rank pool doesn't have too many of them, right?
It doesn't, and that's one thing that Genesis has done with their map pool, as well as us following suit with them, is that water and hybrid maps have been added into a pool. So we're going to see a lot more strategy that's different than things like what we've seen at Red Bull, Ololol, or other tournaments, or other, you know, just general ranked play. So I'm excited to see what strategies form, not just in this tournament, but in the coming ones that are happening very soon.
Okay, sounds good. All right, and I am going to throw in the chat also, I want to shout out Willios, who has reached out to us. This is someone who's doing a French broadcast of the quarterfinals. Just put that in the chat. If you're a native French speaker and you want to ditch us and go check out that stream, do it. Because we want to make sure that we're getting this out in every language possible. And if you're interested in broadcasting events like this in different languages, please reach out to us for events because we want to make this as accessible for everyone as we can. And yes, we do have the doggo dance bottom right. Jay, how are we doing on the lobby? We're getting close.
We're getting close. Working on the lobby. It should be searchable in the same parameters as last time, Matt. And while we are getting that lobby pulled up, shout out to Andrew for your $10 donation to the prize pool. We appreciate you for that. And shout out to Tim for adding into to the prize pool another 10. And also just another shout out, Tim, who's a good friend of mine and Matt's, is also the one who's responsible for these amazing graphics for the players, the infographics. So shout out to Tim, and we appreciate the work that he did helping us create a little bit of a better product for you guys today.
Jay, what's our total now based on donations? No, we don't have this automated, but I want to update it.
Yeah, so right now we're at $40 added to the prize pool on top of
Beautiful.
our 500 prize pool that's guaranteed.
All right, updating it right now. And there's the goal. We got the updates. We did try and get this automated. I don't know. We need some help from someone to get some of these alerts working correctly because we did not get the proper link come up here. But we'll post out all the donations. We've got Soup saying he's going to cast the finals in Danish. So sounds great. Let's get that going.
Unless he's playing in it.
Unless he's playing in it. Yeah, I mean, don't count yourself short, Soup. You're gonna get there.
Did you see the lobby?
Let me pull it up. Let's get in it.
While Matt's looking at the lobby, I know that first game was very exciting. We're curious to see. This is a sudden death point right now for Count. So if Count does lose this next match, the victor of the first quarterfinal will be called, and we'll move on to the next series after that.
Okay. Same name for the game lobby?
Same name, it should be.
Okay. Yeah, I found it. Getting in.
Perfect. And while we're doing that,
Should have a slight spectator delay. No, we don't. And we are in, Jay. Let's get into it. So now, spawning in at the top of the map, we do have CountVonCount with his new pick, ISIS, coming out.
yes, and on the southwest side of the map, we have Keen Pegasus.
So this is an interesting map. So keen on Zeus here. We got the ISIS pick. Midgard, very exciting. I imagine we're going to have early docks again. We already have the early dock, and even the Pharaoh coming out actually to buff up this dock, get it out even sooner. I like that move, and we also have the early dock on the other side. So I imagine the way that this map will play will honestly be quite similar to the previous map. The only big difference here is that rather than having the rivers to go directly towards the other player's base, you got to go around. But I'm betting that the Pegasus wishes he had Poseidon on this map because I think you get a bit more out of that free scout, the Hippocampus, on a map like Midgard than you do on Earthstar.
Yeah, that scout does give immense value. You can remember they are free and they respawn upon death after a certain period, so you get a lot of value from that scout early on. Pegasus is going to be able to know what Count's docks are and where his fishing economy is. So if he plans to build an early navy, he will be able to engage faster than Count will.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're going to see pretty standard openings here, just the 3 on food and then putting a lot out onto wood to be able to get more docks out. I like the Egyptians in particular on water map because you get a bit more use of the place. That's something that you don't really have a lot of usage for outside of very specific myth units for the Egyptians. But on water maps, you can actually get that wood. And I wonder if we even see early hand axes come through. I haven't seen one yet, but that is something people definitely do, get that early chop and boost so that you can get more fish out early.
Yeah, definitely. As of right now, we see a pretty standard start. Both players are getting villagers and fishing out. Don't see a dock on either. A temple on either side yet. So they do plan to get their economy set up a little bit more, and seeing the priority on the classical age. So we might have a little bit of a delay into the action when it comes to units actually being massed out.
Yeah, I think like a map like this, it's going to be expensive. And just so everyone on the stream knows, we are aware that we've got a little bit of audio quality issues that are popping up. We'll try and fix them in a break, but you might just have to bear with us until the next one to get things fully fixed. A lot to learn by doing here, and we've got a couple things I'm going to call out in the chat since we do just have standard opening. Scoreboard, I will get that set up for the next best of 3. Great call. Need to get a scoreboard set up, so I will get that set up. I just can't alt tab out of this right now or we lose the game. And Nicky Bobby says the audio is actually fine, so maybe we're good there. And another,
Perfect.
We have a $25 donation from Kim Passabrew. So thank you for that donation. We'll get that updated on the ticker, and this prize pool, it's starting to grow, Jay.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my intention and hope is like we as a community come together to help outfund these tournaments to make players be able to make a career out of this. The AOM space, out of all of the Age games, besides Age of or Age Empires 3, is at its early phases, and it's really waiting to just blow up. So us as a community, doing events like this, contributing back to the players to be able to make a pool, having things for viewers to enjoy, this is all a part of what our mission is, and the fact that the community is so supportive about it is amazing. So thank you so much for that donation. It will be added directly to the prize pool.
And Kim Pasabrook is Ermsov from our Discord, who gave me the best quote I have heard in a long time. I'm probably going to butcher it because I don't have it open, but today is the day of all todays. I'm most excited is today. It was something along those lines, and I agree. I'm very excited to do today.
And you know, if you do join our Discord community, you are gonna have Erm give you a joke of the day that's based on Age of Mythology. They're absolutely amazing. So make sure you join the Discord to get the joke of the day. We will be putting a video out of just a I don't even know how to say that word, but a compilation.
Yeah,
There we go.
compilation of
Yeah, of all the jokes at some point.
All right, well, Count's life is on the line. Let's get back to the game. We get a lot of docs coming out here. Already 4 docs for Pegasus, or
wow.
for Count coming out here, and then I believe we have just the 2, maybe now, yeah, 3 now for Pegasus. So a lot of docs being built on this map. Egypt's just now starting to come through, almost at the exact same time. So we have Hermes and Bast coming through. Sphinx gonna be out on the map. Well, we'll have to see. Is the Sphinx good? Big point of controversy. I think it's good, but a lot of people don't. So we'll get good usage out of that from Pegasus. And then, of course, on the other side, we do have the pretty expected Hermes. Same sort of strategy as last game. I think we're gonna expect here from Pegasus. Just different primary god, but same classical selection. And as is the theme on water maps, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Heroic Age coming through a long time.
Yeah, I mean, these players have already invested quite a bit into their economy. Might scale into a Heroic Age before they actually go for a strong final push, but expect a lot of harass to come out of Pegasus side, just as we saw in the first game with these Pegasus. Imagine the cavalry is going to be formed up here pretty quickly too right after. But those Sphinx units, while they do get some disrespect, I feel, on their special attack, they have great base stats to be able to just go in and out, harass, and the fact that your priest can heal them to go back to what they're doing best, harassing enemy villagers and enemy town centers. They are a great unit, and I'm curious to see how these Sphinx are going to be used on this map.
Yeah, I feel like they are one of the best jack of all trades units, right? They do a little bit of everything. That's why I like the Sphinxes. They're not particularly bad at any one thing. They're above average at everything. And wow, we have some banger relics out here. We got the Pegasus Scout, Estia's Hearth for villagers train faster, gathers faster, and heroes regenerate while fighting. I mean, these are some incredible relics out on the map. I wonder if we're going to see anyone go for those early. And wow, I was completely wrong about the quick heroic. We have a very quick heroic coming out here, and what I'm realizing, let me actually switch which side player shows up on at the top so we have them aligned with the actual players. But very quick heroic come out from Count here. Do we see a mass? I mean, we see a couple of units coming out from both on the water, but we haven't seen any real land units come out at this point.
Yeah, and at the same time, Count activated plenty to be able to stockpile his gold early on. He's probably going to be looking to create more units, considering his food economy is not floating as highly as his gold. Maybe he's going to invest into this classical age a little bit more, just like the previous match.
Oh, both going up heroic. We got Dionysus coming through.
Dionysus came out, no.
Another Scylla coming out. So I guess that does change a bit of what you look for inside of these water maps now, with the fact that every god gets the water unit. It's not linked minor god that you select. I believe that's correct for all water units. Maybe that's different for the Scylla. I'll have to check on that. But I believe most water units, you just get them as soon as you jump, regardless if you jump through. Spirited Charge coming through, and Dionysus is about to come up. So we're going to have a very explosive Heroic Age fight. Or maybe we just see a fast mythic. I don't know. I don't know what these players are going to go do, but we're just going to have to find out. There's the Leviathan coming out, and very shortly on the other side, to be at the first dock, there's the Scylla coming out right now as well. So we're about to have a beast on beast action in the water.
Just to give a little love to the Scylla, I think the Scylla is one of the best units on water. It's so effective at being able to grow their heads, increase its damage, and really be a pain to any fishing economy or battleships that are put onto the map. So I'm curious to see how these two battle it out in the high waters here on the southern and eastern part of the map.
Yeah, we've got 3 Scylla out on the map already, so
Wow.
looking like Pegasus is going for water supremacy here, and that's his win condition. My Gold Stronghold coming out in the middle of the map to secure this gold. Love to see that. And I would honestly like to see let's pick up. There's some good relics here. Right there by your base. Let's go get them.
Yeah, but with these players investing so much time and energy into the seas, maybe they're being a little bit miscomplacent about these relics. Maybe they're not of as much value to them because they want to win the high seas. Now, the Sphinx and the Scorpion Man are walking together. Oh, with a complete. Oh boy, this could be a use of a tremendous god power if they use this combination in the backside.
Bolt coming out, taking out the Scorpion Man.
Out.
Is he going to pull the trigger on Ancestors Eclipse? We've got all the Greek heroes out. He is going to pull the trigger. Coming in right on the wood line, Ancestors Eclipse. Ceasefire is going to delay it, but only half the duration, right? So there's going to still get half the duration of this combo for the Ancestors and even more for the Eclipse. And these villagers, I bet they're going to gather for another 10 seconds and then run as far as
And they're
they
going
can.
to run. Yeah, Ancestors Eclipse is one of the strongest god power combinations in the game. They are being held back by the ceasefire. Keep in mind, ceasefire is about to time out here in about 5 seconds or so.
Villagers running.
So these units will be able to provide some damage still. Villagers are going back into base. Ancestors are now moving towards the town center. Let's see where they're going to pick their target for the allotted time that they have left.
Yeah, found
Going
some
to
loose
the
villagers.
Loose villagers, while the Sphinx goes in towards the Hydra. That Sphinx will fall in this trade. The Ancestors are running around again towards the villagers that are going out near the town center. Looks like a few more casualties will happen. All things being said, though, that ceasefire did effectively nullify that god power combination that we expected to have a lot more impact early on in the game.
Yeah, I think only 3 villagers so far that actually went down, right? So really nullifying that. Maybe Ceasefire needs a bit more of a shot. It's only half the duration, but having the extra time to actually get your villagers, another one does go down, so 4 total from that attack. But get your villagers into a safe position, and yeah, maybe actually just a
Chariot
mistake
archers.
from Pegasus sending out some more villagers to die. Chariot Archers' numbers are growing, and these are Prodromos, which actually do give the multiplier versus Chariot Archer. I know that's a complaint that a lot of people have about this unit, that counter cavalry do bonus damage to them. You can see that. Those Prodromos just absolutely destroy these Chariot Archers.
Definitely. We're going to have to change the unit composition on Count's side to be able to answer these cavalry, or use of Spearmen to be able to help counter and get those bonuses against that cavalry early on. He does withdraw back to his stronghold to be able to put himself in a position with the rest of his mass under safe territory. Let's see if Pegasus decides to push any further.
Yeah, Hydra started to come out, and I do want to pan over here really quick because the Scylla are absolutely terrorizing Count's docks as well. And we just see pretty standard. I wonder if we're going to see a lot of this in the tournament. It's basically for the Greeks, cavalry, heroes, and myth units, and that's all you're building.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great way to be able to win the game early on. I did say at the beginning of this broadcast that I was excited to see how Greek players would be able to use that early aggression cavalry early on, and Pegasus is showing a clinical way that this is how Greeks can play against gods that are stronger in the meta, and just punish your opponent with the early cavalry, the early upgrades, and the strong myth units you get by the heroic age. Take them out. And right now, you see Pegasus is going against all of these gold miners and dwarves and gatherers, just really wrecking them one by one. It's in a very effective place, and we don't see enough units on Count's side to be able to effectively challenge any of this. As more cavalry just pour in, holy cow, there was a massacre, and you see Count lose damn near 10. Yep, and there we go. That calls it for the first quarterfinal. Pegasus does advance against the General. Count has lost the first one. Very exciting match. That was fun.
Yeah, and I saw in the chat a couple people saying ISIS basically has to boom Mythic here to have a chance, and I agree. It's just tough. That I mean, we didn't expect Greek strong in this tournament, to be honest, because when you look at the ladder win rate, isn't that high, but maybe Pegasus just showing it's not the wand, it's the wizard, right? You know, how you play this god is going to make the biggest difference, not exactly the strength of the god itself. And yeah, just getting out the cavalry army again, very similar to the first game with how this played out. And yeah, just not enough that Count was able to do there. So the general is going to have to be leading from the back lines for the rest of this tournament.
Definitely. Exciting first quarterfinal of the match. Pegasus does advance, showing that Greek supremacy is possible.